Hello and welcome back to the channel. It's been a while since I made a video, but this is the one that I've been wanting to do for the longest time. It's on my BMW 640i xDrive Gran Turismo. This car is actually very special to me because, well, long story short, I started off being a huge BMW fan. I had several different models, and then I had my issues with BMWs, not just with the vehicles themselves, but also with BMW, the company itself, which I don't want to get into too much detail with. So I stopped driving BMWs for a while, and I hopped over to Mercedes, and I thought I would stick with Mercedes until I drove this car, which is the 640i xDrive Gran Turismo. And this is the vehicle that pretty much brought me back to BMW, if that makes sense. And then, one thing led to another, and I bought more BMWs after that again. But yeah, this car, I always thought the E350 from Mercedes was the, what's the proper term, like the most well-balanced car, I guess you can say. It's sporty, but it's luxurious. It's not too small like the C-Class, but it's not too big like the S-Class. I mean, I always thought it was the perfectly balanced car, either E-Class or 5 Series, take your pick. But with the way these newer vehicles are made, just to be more green, more efficient, whatever you want to call it, they're made with 4-cylinder engines now with a turbo. And don't get me wrong, it's not bad, but it doesn't have that same German car feel, if that makes sense. So it's always been kind of a back and forth type of thing with me, until I drove this car, which is again the 640i. A lot of the BMW models are 330, 530, which are respectively the 4-cylinder vehicles, and then you go into the 40s, which are the 6-cylinder, and then they have the 50s, which are V8s, twin turbos and whatnot. But anyway, so when I started driving the 640, I remember when I test drove it, I was so impressed with this B58 engine that I can't explain how smooth it is. It's smooth, it's powerful, it's so well balanced. The inline 6 B58, even a lot of the bigger vehicles use a B58 now. Some 7 Series models, X5 models, and of course, even for non-BMW fans, the ever so popular new Toyota Supra also has the same B58 engine, which is the inline 6-cylinder, 3-liter turbo. Very reliable, very smooth, very well balanced. But yeah, so that's what got me back into BMWs again, driving this vehicle. This car, it's not quite, when people think of 6 Series, people think of the original, 640, whether it's the Coupe or the Grand Coupe, or, the initial first models that came out. Those were beasts. Those are, 400 plus horsepower beasts that look awesome. They drive awesome. The one that I'm talking about right now is the GT, the Gran Turismo. It's a little different. It's like a 4-door, I don't want to say wagon, it's like a super long hatchback, I guess you can say. And from what I know, I believe it's built on the same platform subframe as the 7 Series. So the rear seats have so much room, it's ridiculous. And on top of that, you have that crazy trunk space. I'm not gonna lie, it's not as sporty as I would like it to be, especially the suspension. But still, it's very, again, well-rounded, and which is what I always look for in a car. Don't get me wrong, I mean, yeah, sometimes I do want a, super fast sports car, but to be more practical, 5 Series and E-Class, just because again it's what I consider the most balanced vehicles. Until I drove this car. This car, I think, beat the two, if that makes sense, because it's so roomy, yet it's not humongous like a 7 Series on the outside. It is very powerful, the B58. It's a really good engine, but at the same time, it's not, you know, a V8 twin turbo like the 7 Series or like the S-Class. So yeah, again, I just I guess you can say this is probably as balanced as you can get, especially for a guy like me who wants a little bit of everything in their car. You want some luxury, you want some comfort, you want some sportiness, you want, you know, just again a well-rounded vehicle. Now, I know I'm praising this vehicle so much right now, but now if you want to hear what I don't like about the car, I don't know what it is about this car, but other vehicles I've seen, like this car, it doesn't have a window top frame, and I've had other cars that are built this way and it didn't have that much road noise, but the 640 GTs have a lot of road noise for some reason. Even from the sunroof area, you get a lot of wind noise when you're driving. That's one thing they could fix. Second thing, I know the concept that they were going for, but I think this would have been a lot more popular and a lot more people would have bought it if it was a little wider, because it's very tall and very narrow, so it doesn't have that. Again, don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining about the looks per se, but I think it would have done a lot better if it was a little more wider. The seats are super comfortable. Again, the build quality is, you know, it's a BMW 6 Series. You know, what do you expect? It's going to be top notch. But again, the frameless windows, I don't know. It's very noisy in this car, and I don't think it's because of the design. Because again, I've had other vehicles that have the frameless windows, and they didn't have road noise like these do. The sunroof, I had it leak water already once, and that's just an ongoing thing with all BMWs and panoramic roofs. I wish they hurry up and fix that too. Again, the B58 engine, I have no complaints about that. The suspension, I think it could have been a little bit tighter than the way it is right now. When I put it in sport mode, it's like borderline tight and borderline comfort. So I think if they made it a little less tighter than that for the regular driving, and it had a sport mode that was a little tighter, I think that would have been a lot more attractive to people, if that makes sense. Yeah, the rear seats, I have no complaints. The trunk space, everything else, I think it's really good. The sound system is good. Yeah, pretty much everything about this vehicle is very well rounded. I like it a lot. The X-Drive is amazing. I mean, I can launch like no other with this car. The heads-up display works really well. But yeah, again, I just wish the car was a little wider, and the window installation, if that was designed a little more better, I think that would have been good. But yeah, other than that, everything else is pretty good. I will definitely show, you know, what the outside looks like. But yeah, I wish they never stopped making these. If you ever drive one of these or own one of these, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. They are very, very great vehicles. Again, minus the minor changes, but even then, those complaints are not even complaints compared to a lot of the other vehicles that we drive. So yeah, there you have it. That was my you know, quick 5-10 minute take on this car. I will get into the outside of the vehicle and the design part in a little bit. See you in a bit. I'm going to start with the back of this vehicle. Oh, my spoiler is up right now, but it's actually an automatic spoiler. I have it set to 55 miles per hour normally is when it pops up, and then when you decrease speed it goes back down. have the exhaust here. Nice 19-inch M wheels. If you want to see the trunk space, the trunk's a little dirty right now, but look at this massive trunk right here. And if you fold the seats down, you can fit like pretty much anything in here. Of course, it's automatic. Yeah, the illumination. But most of all, I'm gonna show you the rear space. Now, right now, my front seat, it's not even pulled up. This is me, who is 6'1", sitting comfortably in the front right now, and I still have so much room back here, it's ridiculous. Again, this was built on the 7 Series platform, so back space, front space, it's just crazy. I know you can see the door, the illuminations, the LED. This, you can change it to whatever color you want, pretty much. I have it set on orange right now, which is the classic BMW color. Let's get back out here. Look at the lines on this car, it's just beautiful. Front also has 90. So yeah, just wanted to do a quick outside view of this vehicle. Again, I just wish it was a little wider. I think it would have been a lot better that way. Yeah, this is functional also. But yeah, this is the outside of my car. And when you sit in the driver's seat, this is what it looks like. I have the M wheel with the heated steering wheel. I don't know if the video will pick up heads-up display, but we have a massive screen, which I use Beamer code to unlock and play videos on. Cup holders, wireless charger. It has the works, everything. We have the panoramic roof here, which goes all the way to the back. So yeah, there is the 640i Gran Turismo for you.